Welcome back everyone. I hope you enjoyed part 1 of our discussion on external environment. In part 1, we explored the concept of organizational environment and its component. Now in part 2, we will continue our journey by diving deeper into the internal factors and then exploring one of the most fascinating internal aspects like organizational culture. I am Dr. Lala Rukshabir from Southern Business School, University of Southern Punjab, Multan. Let's begin with organizational culture. What is organizational culture? Organizational culture is like the company's personality, the invisible force that shapes how people think, feel, and act at work. It's made up of shared values, beliefs, customs, traditions that develop over time. Think of it as the way we do things around here. For example, Google's culture promotes creativity, more flexibility, and risk taking, innovation. Employees can experiment with the new ideas without any fear of failure, leading to innovations like Gmail. In contrast, a government department may have a culture focused on rules, stability, hierarchy, no innovation, no risk taking, where following procedure is valued more than innovation. Similarly, another example, McDonald's on the other hand has a culture focused on consistency and efficiency. Whether you order a burger in Lahore, Tokyo, or New York, the process and taste are almost identical because their culture prioritizes standardization and speed. Culture of consistency and efficiency. Similarly, another example, Toyota is famous for its culture of continuous improvement, Kaizen. Every worker from top manager to assembly line staff is encouraged to suggest improvements, no matter how small the designation is. Culture influences everything from how employees greet each other to how quickly decisions are made. If a culture values teamwork, employees will collaborate naturally. And if it values competition, employee may push themselves harder, but also guard their ideas as well. So managers play a very big role in shaping and maintaining culture. They set the tone through their actions, through rewards, and through hiring decisions. A manager who openly communicates, celebrates success, and encourages feedback build a culture of trust and openness. So importantly, culture is powerful but also slow to change. When Nokia phone divisions lost their market share to Apple, part of the problem was its rigid culture, which resisted change, resist rapid innovation. This shows that while culture can be a company's greatest strength, but it can also be a weakness if it stops adapting to the environmental change. So why is organizational culture important? Culture acts like the glue that holds an organization together. It shapes how employees interact, whether they are open and collaborative or on the other hand reserved and formal. Culture defines how decisions are made, whether quickly or flexibly or slowly with many approvals. How problems are solved. Cultures also define this one, whether through teamwork or individual responsibility. So if a company cultures encourages risk taking, employees are more likely to innovate. For example, 3M has a 15% rule. allowing employees to spend 15% of their time working on personal projects. This led to the invention of post-it notes. On the other hand, if a culture resists change, it can be very dangerous. You have the example of Nokia. Nokia, once the leader in mobile phones, struggled to adapt because its cultures favor existing processes over bold innovations, and it lost its market dominance to Apple and Samsung as well. Coming to the next question, how is culture created and maintained? Organizational culture develops over time and is shaped mainly by founders, leaders, and shared experiences. Founder influences like Steve Jobs' obsession with perfection and design and excellence still defines Apple culture year after his passing. Leadership actions. Leaders reinforce culture through their behavior. They reward and values they communicate. A manager who praises teamwork will strengthen a collaborative culture. Culture is maintained through rituals and stories as well. Repeated activities, traditions, success stories build shared identity. At Disney, every new employee hears stories about Walt Disney creativity and dedication to guest happiness. So, through this, culture is created and maintained. Culture is powerful, but it also has resistance to change. Altering it requires a deliberate effort. It requires leadership commitment. It requires aligning your hiring and training with desired values. It requires rewarding behavior that matches new culture. For example, Microsoft under Satya Nadella transformed from a competitive, fluid culture to one focused on collaboration, learning, empathy, and the change designated innovation. So, if you were starting your own company, what 3 values would you want in your culture? Think about it. Coming to the next point, what is strong and weak culture? A strong culture exists when an organization's core values are deeply and widely shared among employees, among all employees of the organization. In a strong culture, everyone knows that the organization stands for and feels committed to upholding their values. For example, Southwest Airlines is famous for its strong culture of customer service and employee happiness. Flight attendants joke with passengers. Employees help each other without being asked. And leaders prioritized fun alongside efficiency. This culture drives customer loyalty and high employee morale. And similarly, in contrast to strong culture, what is weak culture? Weak cultures occur when core values are not clearly defined, not widely accepted, and not consistently followed. In such organizations, employees may be unsure about what is expected actually from them, leading to inconsistent decision making and lower employee engagement. For example, imagine a retail store where one manager tells employees to prioritize customer service while another focus only on sales target. What is the result? Confusion. How morale and customer receiving mixed experiences, low morale, and customer receiving mixed experiences. So, the difference matters because A strong culture can guide behavior without constant rules or supervision, making organizations more unified, more successful, more efficient. But there is a flip side. A strong culture can also become a barrier to change as well if it resists new way of thinking, new styles of thinking, innovation. So, if we wrap up our discussion, today's discussion, we have seen that organizational culture is not just a buzzword, it is a living force that shapes everything from employee behavior to business success. A strong positive culture can inspire innovation, attract talent and keep customers more loyal. But a rigid, outdated culture can slow an organizational performance and even lead to failure. As a future manager, your role will be not just to understand the culture, but to actively shape the culture. Remember, you set the tone. The way you act, the values you uphold and the behavior you reward will all send a message about how we do things here. So, in our next session, we will look at how managers can actively scan the environment and align both external factors and internal culture to achieve organizational goals. Thank you for staying engaged, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on culture in a discussion forum. Thank you so much.